Money in the Bank. Wow. WWE, they went to an extreme with this one. The problem was, I'm not sure I exactly loved the extreme, but they tried. They tried very hard to make this an entertaining pay-per-view and an entertaining product. It didn't really do that for me. There were lots of reasons for why this pay-per-view fell short. I think the lack of an audience just is a glaring factor in this thing, and you can't really move past it. I think wrestling and fighting specifically, they need an audience. I think maybe other sports might be able to be played without an audience, potentially. But these types of things where you feed off the crowd and everything is raw and it's there, you can't be having no crowd. But the pay-per-view overall was a bit lackluster. It started off with the tag match. Fine. I mean, you know, at least the guys, I think, put effort into the match. And I had no problems with the outcome. I think, you know, New Day, I think eventually this is going to have to end with them. They've been champs now 8 times, been around as a unit and a faction for a very long time, and they will go down as one of the most dominant tag teams in WWE history. But I think Big E needs a push. Specifically, I think Kofi had his push last year, this year, and last year. I think that Big E is the guy who has been really, really waiting and biding his time. And I think that he's someone who, I think, from the way he has improved himself on the mic as a wrestler over the last 10 years, really now. He's been in WWE, the main brand at least, not NXT, since 2013, 2012, since Dolph won his Money in the Bank ladder match. I think that might have been 2012 or 2013. And he's just improved from there to then, gone from strength to strength to strength. I think he's someone who deserves a push. But that was a fine match. Then you had Bobby Lashley, R-Truth. I thought it was an MVP, and then it didn't. I don't know what was going on. Some of these were so forgettable. I'm not the type of guy to have wrestling on when I do watch it and to not watch it. But with the Bobby Lashley R-Truth match and with Bayley Tamina, I was like in and out of it. I wasn't really paying attention. The Bayley Tamina match, awful. You know, just terrible. It was so unenergetic, in my opinion. Then there was Strowman versus Wyatt, which was actually different. I thought The Fiend was going to come out, and it turned out to be Sweater Bray Wyatt, which was not what I think most people were expecting. And I think because of what happened with Roman Reigns and Goldberg and that type of stuff, and then Strowman winning the title at WrestleMania, I think this was sort of on a lot of people's minds of saying Bray Wyatt's just going to take the championship back and we're going to move on from there. But, you know, I think it was a bit of a shock that they kept the title on Strowman. I think it's interesting story-wise. They can actually have a Fiend match now with Strowman as opposed to just going straight there. They took an extra step, and they can have another pay-per-view with The Fiend versus Braun Strowman, which is, I think, an interesting take. Something that will feed the characters and the storyline there specifically. But then there was Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. Probably, I don't know. I liked the match in aspects. I think the build-up was sort of there. I don't like Seth Rollins' new persona of the Messiah. I sort of just feel it. I feel it's a bit too much like Bray Wyatt, you know, from back in the day, and it's not got enough of a differentiating factor on it to make it feel different. Because of that, it just feels very samey in a lot of ways. So I'm not sure I like this type of character for Seth Rollins. I don't think he does it badly. I just don't think the character really works, considering we have a character like that was so dominant in WWE for a certain amount of time. Then we come to the ladder matches, and this is where the shenanigans goes down, because they were both going on at the same time, which was fine. I thought there would be more interaction between the two fights. Turned out to be not a lot, but I'll start with the women's match and then go on to the men's. Asuka won. Of all of them, in my opinion, I thought either Lacey Evans was going to win or Asuka. I thought it was going to be one of those two. So I'm glad Asuka got the victory there. I will pick up Nia Jax just because everyone does. And I mean, not everyone does. She's a very heavy lass. She's an athlete. Like she take people out, but like she's a heavy lass. I couldn't lift her up probably. She had this bit with Carmella where she slammed her through a table. And as soon as I saw the botch, I'll actually say, I thought to myself, you need to go back to developmental, man. I know people lay on her, and some people will say it's too much, but I saw this terrible table shot that they did, and Nia Jax just absolutely bottled it. She shitted it. She shitted it up so badly, considering she's the one who has all the weight. Like, she has the ability to lift the other person very easily. It should be an easy spot. It should be very simple to do. But when Carmella hit the table, I was like, that's so far up her back that on the way down, I was like, she could genuinely have really mucked up her neck there. I don't know if it's going to come out that she did. I don't know if Carmella's going to have any injury. She might not, in which case it's fine. But just seeing that spot, it was shocking that they let that be the case. And they didn't say, let's reshoot that. Because it looked really bad in my opinion. I don't know, maybe some people didn't notice it. It was very small. And maybe it was just the time I flicked to it and I noticed it specifically. But that was absolutely shoddy. The match overall was fine. I think the same thing comes into play with the men's match as does the women's match in this case. And that was, they tried to just insert too much comedy into it, right? I think this is a very serious match. People genuinely have life-threatening injuries because of it, and this is a very, very dangerous one compared to most. And they inserted too much comedy into it. It was too light at times. I know they wanted to, incorporate the idea of going up the corporate ladder, and I think it was an interesting take. And that single-handedly made me feel like I wanted to see this, to see what they would do with it. And it just felt like a very, 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 very bad student film. Like a very cheap version of The Raid. Like super cheap, extra cheap, all the cheap was going on with this particular ladder match. And even with the men's match, when you compare it to previous lineups, it's a very lackluster type of matchup. I mean, you look at this, you got AJ Styles, main eventer, big guy. Aleister Black. Coming up, I think he was probably my favorite to win this along with AJ. But Aleister Black, Daniel Bryan, main eventer, big guy. Corbin, mid-card, upper mid-card maybe. Rey Mysterio, previous main eventer, I would say mid-card guy now. And then Otis, someone who has just risen up the ranks over the last year. I would say a huge amount. And that was the matchup that we had there. My thing is, when you compare it to previous ladder matchups, it is so subpar. I'm going all the way back to 2010 with the first Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And the first one was the World Heavyweight Championship pay-per-view. Kane won it. It had The Big Show, Christian, Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, and Matt Hardy. You compare that to this list, and it's shocking. This was a main event, like, staple. This is where everyone came and was like, this is the big one. This is the big one. Even on that same night, there was the WWE Championship one where the Miz won his Money in the Bank. And there was Chris Jericho, Edge, Evan Bourne, John Morrison, Mark Henry, Randy Orton, and Ted DiBiase. These are stacked matches. And that's only 2010. You go 2011, Daniel Bryan won in that match. Cody Rhodes, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, Kane, Sheamus, Sin Cara, Wade Barrett. Apart from Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel, all those other guys, main eventers, really, you could even, maybe 2011, maybe like the Nexus or something was going on then. That's why Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater got in there. But pretty big match for the WWE Championship one in 2011. Alberto Del Rio won it. You had Alex Riley, Evan Bourne, Jack Swagger, Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio, The Miz, and R-Truth. Like, this is a match I want to see. If I could see that match again, I'd want to see it, 2012, Ziggler won. You had Christian, Cody Rhodes, Damian Sandow, Santino Marella, Sin Cara, Tensai, Tyson Kidd. Probably the least stacked match ever was that one there. And it had Cody Rhodes, Christian, Dolph Ziggler, Tyson Kidd, and Damian Sandow. Very good workers. It had Santino Marella as well and Sin Cara, but... Oh, and Tensai, might I add there. Yeah, that was a weird one. But there was still something to that match, and Ziggler won that one, a very, very big one. One of the most memorable ones in my eyes. from when I've started watching WWE over the last 10 years. Then you had the WWE Championship one. Cena won it. Then you had Big Show, Chris Jericho, Kane, and The Miz. Again, this is my point. These are all very, very, very mainstay names. And this goes all the way through until this year. I would say last year's was a bit questionable, I guess, if you break it down. There was Ricochet, Randy Orton, Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Andrade, and Ali. That was probably the least stacked match last year since 2012 when Ziggler won his World Heavyweight Championship one. And even then, here you have Ali, big up-and-comer. Baron Corbin, mid-carder, I guess. Drew McIntyre getting his big push. Finn Balor, Randy Orton. So there are names in there. I just feel this one, it just lacked that pedigree that these other matches have had in the past. But the winner in the end was Otis. Mad. I mean, I didn't see it coming. I don't think anyone saw this coming. This is mad. This is unprecedented stuff. Them giving it to the fat guy. And I love it. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Otis cookies, all right? I love me Otis. He is someone who has really made a character and a niche for himself in the WWE. And he's worked hard, you know? He's got this push because probably of the Mandy Rose, you know, whole WrestleMania segment and how that went semi-viral, really. And even went outside of wrestling in a lot of ways. And he's got this chance to win a WWE championship, like a main title. I hope they don't do this situation where they just botch it and they make him lose the championship. Or that they make him lose the contract to someone else. Because the way it ended, he just appeared with it in his arms at the end. It was like, I won? Like, that was sort of the vibe. And I don't think anyone felt that would be the case. And I guess it's good to spice it up sometimes. So I think the actual outcome, it's good to surprise some people, shock some people. And I don't think it was the worst outcome that could have happened. I think if it wasn't going to be Aleister Black or AJ Styles, Otis really is sort of like a very weird wild card there for it to be given to. So I kind of like it. I don't know who he's going to take on. They're going to have to wait and see as the year goes by who's the championship of which brand and where it makes sense for him to take it. Because I can't see him taking it off of Strowman. I can't see him taking it off of McIntyre. So they're going to have to lose it. And then someone else is going to have to take it. And he's going to take it off them, basically. I think that's probably going to be the case. So he might hold on to the contract for months and months and months. And maybe 10 months. Or he might get it done quickly. I don't know. It just depends. I hope they do not waste the Money in the Bank contract because of this whole quarantine thing. And just be like, get it done and dusted. And then he loses the contract or he loses the title back again. And then it's like he was never champion. I hope they keep him as the Money in the Bank winner until this whole quarantine stuff is done and he can actually get in there with a crowd and he can work it and he can actually win a world championship with the biggest crowd he can have. I think that would be something very, very interesting. But yeah, I think other than the shock win of Otis there, the whole product just felt a bit boring, honestly. And that while they were trying very hard to make it seem full of life and energy, it just felt too manufactured and fake. And I know, everyone knows, wrestling is, you know, predetermined, but it's not fake. And this felt fake. But it is what it is. They had to try something different. I appreciate it. I think the idea was good. I just think the execution of it was very bland and boring. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down there. If you didn't, then Otis will come after you. Yes, indeed, off his big win. He didn't even really get the championship off the ladder because he couldn't climb it because he broke the ladder because of his weight, I guess. But he got the championship nonetheless. He got the contract for the championship nonetheless. You don't want him coming after you. You really don't, so just subscribe anyway to avoid that. Now, I've been NarendraTheComic. You've been great. I'll see you next time. That's tomorrow. If you don't know, make a video every single day. Yeah. Been doing it for over 700 days now, and we ain't stopping until we get to 10,000 subscribers. So if you could subscribe, that would help me out a lot, and I would thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. So do come back again tomorrow for some more quality shitty content, because there'll be more of it every single day, because I'm never not here. Hashtag never not here, and it's every day, bro. So remember to stay safe, stay inside, and subscribe. But most importantly, lads, come on, just do it. Say it with me, say it with me, say it with me. Subscribe. See you tomorrow, though, because, as I said, I will be here. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Skadoosh.